Ladies and gentlemen, the Ambassador of the Republic of Uganda to the United States of America, Ambassador Mol Sebuja Katende. Welcome, Ambassador.
Ms. Chidi Blenden Rowe, Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for African Affairs at the Pentagon, representing the U.S. government. Members of Congress present, all our distinguished guests, excellencies, ambassadors and heads of missions, compatriots and leaders, as well as members of the Ugandan diaspora, ladies and gentlemen, on my own behalf and on behalf of my spouse, as well as Team Uganda Embassy, Washington, D.C., I warmly welcome all of you, our guests, and in a special way, I welcome our chief guest, Ms. Chidi Blenden Rowe, the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for African Affairs at the Pentagon. I most sincerely thank her for honoring and gracing our occasion. October 9th, 2021 marked the 59th Independence Day anniversary of the Republic of Uganda. On this occasion, I congratulate all Ugandans and thank our well-wishers for the messages of friendship and solidarity. Among them were reassuring congratulatory messages by President Biden to President Museveni and a congratulatory message by Secretary of State Anthony Blinken to the people of Uganda. We also received solidarity messages from heads of state and or government of other countries of accreditation, namely Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Jamaica, Mexico, Paraguay, and Trinidad and Tobago. On behalf of my government, I express our utmost appreciation to all of them. Since 1986, the economy has grown 32-fold, from 1.3 billion to 42 billion currently. We are also boasting of 65% of the population of Uganda being youth below the age of 25 years old because of the massive annual vaccination programs that ensured their survival. USA has supported Uganda's response to COVID-19, both financially and technically, especially in terms of data management, risk communication, health worker training, strengthening the supply chain, and increasing cold storage capacity that has enabled vaccine uptake across the country. U.S. has also directly provided to Uganda 2,321,350 COVID-19 vaccine doses. In addition to earlier ones under the COVAX arrangement, where U.S. is the leading donor. This welcome initiative by the Biden administration fulfills President Biden's commitment to provide safe and effective vaccines around the world in the global fight against the pandemic. Uganda government has now launched a massive vaccination exercise of the population, in order to reach the set target for herd immunity. We are grateful that the US, along with several other countries, is providing the much-needed support. This is a most welcome demonstration of America's leadership to bring the COVID-19 pandemic to an end. Uganda government will continue with her liberal policy that has been commended internationally. To us, including the population, any distressed person anywhere in the world, for the reasons beyond that person's control, deserves compassion and help. That is why we are currently the biggest host of refugees in Africa at 1.4 million. It is also in this spirit that Uganda recently welcomed distressed Afghans for temporary relocation at the request of the US government. Lastly, to my compatriots, the Ugandan diaspora and the Ugandan leaders, some of them are here. I issued a separate message to them on the exact day of our independence anniversary, on October 9th, 2021. In that message, firstly, I assured them of the embassy's cooperation to serve them in the various ways, including in the provision of consular and immigration services. Secondly, I appealed to them to always remain good citizens and live productive lives in their country of residence and country of origin. Thirdly, I advised them to avoid being over-involved or associated with matters of no achievable objectives. Fourthly, I asked them to focus their energies on their well-being and the happiness of their families. As they enhance and firmly anchor themselves, they shall be able to further boost their contribution to the socio-economic transformation of Uganda in areas like investment, trade, tourism, education, and health. As I wind up at this stage, allow me to propose a toast for the good health and prosperity of His Excellency President Biden and His Excellency President Museveni, as well as the peoples of USA and Uganda. Cheers and Asante. Happy Independence Day anniversary to all of you, our distinguished guests. Thank you very much for your attention, and God bless all of you. It is now my singular honor to invite our guest of honor to make her remarks on behalf of the U.S. government. My guest of honor, our guest of honor, Ms. Chidi, is also accompanied by her spouse. We want to welcome her spouse in a special way. Thank you so much, and may God bless all of you. I now yield the floor to our chief guest.
Your Excellency, Ambassador Katende, distinguished guests and colleagues amongst the Africa community, I am honored to be here amongst so many friends and colleagues from the Africa DIP Corps, as well as from the US private sector and US government community. I am honored to join you today on this 59th anniversary of Uganda's independence. The friendship and partnership between our countries has grown over the years, and we look forward to continuing to work with the Ugandan government as it builds a prosperous, democratic, and secure country. As you've already noted, it has been a very challenging year for our countries and the world at large. The humanitarian and economic effects of COVID-19 have been devastating, but we are proud that since the pandemic began last year, the United States has provided almost $100 million to Uganda in direct assistance specifically to prevent, detect, and respond to COVID-19. And we will continue to do all that we can to bring the COVID-19 pandemic to end in Uganda and globally. Another challenge has been the spread of terrorism and conflict in East Africa and other parts of the globe. I would be remiss in my capacity as the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for African Affairs if I did not acknowledge and thank Uganda for its tireless efforts and sacrifices as the largest troop contributor to the African Union mission in Somalia. We will continue to support the African Union-led force in 2022 and stand ready to support African-led efforts to address conflict and insecurity on the continent. Given the events in Afghanistan during the last several months, I also want to recognize the government of Uganda and the Ugandan people for their generosity in offering to provide temporary assistance to evacuees from Afghanistan. As friends, we also have an obligation to acknowledge that there are areas where our governments may not always agree. We have been clear in expressing our concerns about the conduct of Uganda's elections, about the violence that took place in the run-up to those elections, and the ongoing restrictions on civil society organizations, especially on those operating in the democracy and governance space. But as you noted, we too have our challenges and continue to strive to be better. In Uganda and in all democratic societies, a vibrant civil society and the rule of law are essential to ensure that all citizens are able to live their lives without fear, regardless of who they are or what views they express. Vibrant civil society and the rule of law are also essential as countries work to harness the full economic potential of their citizens, to attract and maintain foreign investment, and to address the key global challenges of our day. Your Excellency, 59 years of independence is a moment to be very proud of. Again, I'd like to thank Ambassador Katende and his spouse for the warm welcome and honors of being their guest tonight, and the opportunity to represent our partnership at this momentous occasion. As we celebrate with you Uganda's independence, we remain very much committed to the partnership between our countries. We will continue to work with the people and the government of Uganda to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to achieve their full potential, secure in their rights, and free to be who they are. Again, I want to thank you for this very distinguished honor of being your guest this evening. Wibare.
Thank you.
As the ambassador and our guest come to the table to cut that cake, are you ready? 40, 30, 20, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and happy independence, Uganda. Thank you. Now you can dance and celebrate the independence.
mutonzi bateya kuwona nebwe bafitina bareke wetu bawona chimoli chanda kukasenda bazana wakala nyohera undi mumusai wangambuza lujegere kukagari olusintura nenebuza nti nzani